Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a 2024 election prediction based on Decision Desk HQ's and the Hills pollings. So let us start with the states that the Democratic Party is most likely going to win by 15 or more percentage points, and that is going to be coming as no surprise on election night when these are called. These states and districts have more than a 50 percentage point chance of being won by one candidate. Now let's take a look at the states that have a more than 50 percentage point chance of 15 percentage point margin of being won by Donald Trump. And these states are the following. We've also got the 1st and 3rd congressional districts of Nebraska, and all of these states that are being filled out at the moment. Virginia, Illinois, and Utah. Now let's take a look at the states that can be filled between a 15 and 20% chance of being won by one candidate. And those are, for Trump, are the states of Alaska. Those are 5 and 15 percentage point chances. Texas, Florida, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska at large, and I forgot Maine 2nd Congressional District is pretty safe for Trump. And those are and Ohio, the home state of Senator Vance, Trump's running mate. Now for the states that have pretty strong chance of being won by Kamala Harris by between 5 and 15 percentage points. Those are the states of Colorado, New Mexico, Minnesota, home state of Tim Walz, and New Hampshire. And now we're left with the swings. We're going to start with the swing states known as the Rust Belt Trio. And that starts with Wisconsin. Wisconsin, I'd say, is probably the reddest of red of the states. And according to this forecast, Kamala Harris has a 58% chance of winning. And let's take a look at polling averages. The latest sample shows Trump up, and however, further samples below show Harris up. Thus, we're going to place Wisconsin as leaning Democrat, or to be actually tilting Democrat. Now, Wisconsin's neighbor, Michigan, another toss-up. Another possible toss-up is shown that Kamala Harris has about a 65% chance of winning, and per these polls, Kamala Harris is leading. Thus, we will place Michigan in the leaning Democrat category. Now, finally, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is arguably the definition of swing state in the United States, a distinction once held by Florida, if you remember. I would say that Pennsylvania is the swing state. 53% chance of Kamala Harris winning as of today, Labor Day, 2024. This is the biggest electoral prize in the country, and Pennsylvania, per many of the latest polls, is a pure toss-up. 50-50 coin toss, which we will be doing in a little bit, just to simulate the chances of one person winning the election. Now we're going to move down to Virginia and North Carolina. Starting with Virginia. Virginia is a pretty strong Harris choice and shows her leading by between 2 and 3 percentage points all the time. Thus, Virginia will go down as a leaning Democrat. Finally, North Carolina, and North Carolina is another very narrow state that will most likely be won by Trump, but still has some sort of possibilities of change. North Carolina will be placed as leaning Republican on this map. Finally, the Sun Belt trio. And we're going to start down in Georgia, which is another very swing state, and the second largest electoral prize that one candidate or the other could get. And most polls show Trump winning. However, this latest surveys per likely and registered voters have ties and Harris leading by 1 percentage point. Therefore, I'm placing Georgia in the tilt Republican column. Finally, my home state, penultimately my state of Arizona, my home state of Arizona, which shows that Donald Trump has a 51% chance of winning. However, it is tied, and the Senate race also having Ruben Gallego ahead. Therefore, my home state is a pure toss-up. I have watched as my home state gets changed from the definition of from a very Republican state to a swing state. And finally, we're going to look at Nevada, the last state. The silver state is pretty purple, if you know what I mean. So Nevada shows Kamala Harris ahead in several polls. However, many polls have Trump ahead. The latest poll shows Trump ahead by 1 percentage point, and that was taken amongst 800 likely voters just a few days prior. And the poll just taken 3 days prior to that poll had Harris up 1 percentage point. Therefore, this conflict of information has Nevada also placed in the pure toss-up, and none of the candidates have met the 270 requirement. And I just realized I forgot. Maine at large, which will likely go to the Democrats, and also Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District, also ranked in that category. And those are the states ranked in those categories. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the states that could be coin tossed. This is just simulating the possibilities. And fittingly, heads for Harris, tails for Trump. So let's get started. This is Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania goes to Trump. By the way, these will all be going down in the tilt category. Pennsylvania goes to Trump, lifting him up to 270. And that does mean that he will become the 47th president in American history, according to this simulation of a coin toss. However, that is not really the case. Again, this is just a simulation. My home state, going to Harris. And finally, Nevada. Harris wins. And that is the final electoral map. One of the narrowest electoral maps in American history. I think only second to the Tilden and I forgot the other guy. Tilden Hayes map of 1876. I forgot who the winner was, but yeah, the Tilden Hayes map. But either way, this is really important to keep in mind. These are all toss-ups, and that was just a simulation of whether it could actually be possible. The candidates are currently tied at 251, and we're going to have to see who wins this November based basically on a coin toss and a few voters. Anyways, guys, there will be a Senate prediction recorded later, and that will be released also sometime soon. So, till then, peace.